Now, the mayor of Boston, Mayor Wu, said that I was a white supremacist on a tour of terror.
Wow.
They're standing with me were a bunch of lifelong Democrats. The far left has taken hostage the entire left. Because if anyone on the left speaks up about any of this, they're then deemed the bigot. They're anti-LGBT, these 4 letters that paralyze people. They're kicked out of their political parties. So all the normal leftists, I say normal leftists, I don't agree with many of their ideologies at all. But the moderate leftists aren't allowed to say anything. It's really this 10% of the party that's taken the whole party hostage.
But look, here I am banging on the door of the right wing, begging to be called a conservative, but Seamus keeps calling me a liberal.
This guy's a liberal over here.
But Seamus has made the argument on this show, if you are pro-choice, you can't be a conservative.
Yeah, I think that's a weighted issue. Yeah, I don't think that you can be a conservative and be pro-choice. That's such a fundamental issue to the parties.
So in classical terms, you're a liberal. The word liberty comes from the Latin libertad, meaning freedom. But now the left says the word liberty itself is a dog whistle for fascism.
That's right. But not even the classical sense, not even the philosophical sense. If you look up traditional liberalism or social liberalism in this country, you'll be like, that actually sounds like Tim a whole lot. This is where Democrats were for a long time. So these people you're mentioning, they're probably very much in a similar political space to where we on this show are. Yet they call this show conservative. They call me a conservative commentator, despite the fact that I argue with conservatives all the time.
Yeah.
Especially on issues like this.
Yeah, I'm called the far right, but I'm pretty centrist. It depends on the issue.
Well, I also think it's hilarious that you were referred to as a white supremacist on a tour of terror, because they'll just say anything. They'll just say anything. Now, I don't know. I mean, I've seen a bit of your work, but I haven't heard much on racial politics from you. How can they even claim white supremacists? Is this just because everything fits under the alphabet soup label, and so if you oppose that stuff, you're a white racist?
Well, they put the black,
look at my skin.
Because you're white. Yeah. So that's it.
Well, hold on.
Brilliant.
You're tall, so you must be scaring
you're
people.
You're a supremacist, and you're white. Therefore, get it?
Yeah, at Portland State, this professor, he's a geology professor, he's an adjunct professor. He came out to counter-protest us on his bike, standing right in front of us so I couldn't talk to people. And then he took his shirt off, his sweater off, to reveal that he's been on estrogen. Now, this guy said that we were white supremacists. And I said, hold on. What makes me a white supremacist? He said, well, look at you. I said, well, you're white. So his explanation ultimately was that transphobia is the tip of the spear of white supremacy.
Let me tell you, I was at Occupy Wall Street, and they were trying to figure out what their main goal was going to be. And they're talking about the banks and the corruption. And then in exasperation, some guy stands up screaming at the top of his lungs, how do you people not understand? Fracking is everything. Just furious fracking. And I'm just like, yo, fracking
You're
is
like, calm the
literally...
frack down, okay?
Fracking has nothing to do with this president getting elected. And but this guy, in his brain, the only thing it could process was fracking. He thought the president was only elected because big oil companies were investing in those who would allow fracking, and that the reason why climate change is happening is fracking. The reason why there's social disorder is because these big oil companies. That was the center of his universe, and was the only thing he could comprehend. Very much like this guy, his whole world is trans issues. So any argument is the most paramount problem the world is facing.
Yes, these leftists would sooner have us import oil from Saudi Arabia than produce it ourselves.
Yeah. Well, that's what they push for.
How dare you?
That's right. I mean, we can't drill in the United States because when we pull oil out of the ground and burn it, that's bad for the environment. But when we burn oil other people pulled out of the ground, that's good for the environment.
Well, how about we just say when we create completely emission-free energy, nuclear.
Yeah.
They also don't want us doing that either.
It's almost like they just want to neuter energy independence or something like that. Like they don't care about our country and want it to fail.
Ireland is about to kill 200,000 cows to stop
I
climate
heard
change.
about
They already
this.
have, I think.
Yeah.
That's demonic.
That's just insane. Just kill all of these animals.
Meanwhile, China
stop.
opens a
Cows are
coal-fired
based.
power plant every week.
Yep.
Yep.
Have you ever met a cow? Cows are good people.
I've seen some. You know, I don't know if I've been introduced, but I've seen some cows pretty close. Like
Bill Gates has developed a drug. He's patented a pill to give to cows so they'll produce less methane.
that's
Really?
got to be really good for them.
We should Google that.
That's super healthy.
Cows
oh my
and methane.
gosh.
Ultimately, I think we need to go back to something that are called nations, because this whole globalist thing isn't really working out. We need to pull out of the World Health Organization. We need to pull out of the UN. We need to pull out of the World Economic Forum and start governing our countries like they're actual countries.